Informed, outspoken, wild, fearless. This is the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast.
What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. I am joined by Phil, Jordan, and Seth. Today's episode, we are going over our top 15 quarterback rankings. We'll squeak in, 20 through 16 in there just for fun. Phil, you want to read those off for us for those listening audio only? If you are not listening on audio, go check us out on YouTube at tffdudes. Phil, start with 19 right there, my guy.
Yeah, so at 19, we have Caleb Williams, number 18, Kirk Cousins, 17, Tua, 16, Brock Purdy, and 15, Trevor Lawrence. So these are our top 19 through 15. This was actually even before Trevor Lawrence got his big payday that we actually put these in there. But these are our guys here. What do we want to jump into here? I know that just as we already said, we did if you want to hear the first part of the show, go back a couple of weeks ago where we talked about basically 32 through 20.
So what I'll say here is I think we're probably as a pod, without everyone else in fantasy, I'd say we're low on Caleb Williams. Would you guys agree with that? I think that's a good talking point right there.
Yeah, Caleb Williams, just as an example, Caleb Williams is ranked number 13 by PFF. Yeah, so he's ranked number 13 by PFF, whereas we have him, our consensus has him at number 19. So
in his ADP, where's he getting ADP'd at?
It looks
140. Where is he at?
It's 100. He's ADP 100.
ADP 100. So
yeah,
I think the Bears they're picked to do decent in the NFC North. I see a lot of weird things on X and stuff like that. But Caleb Williams, Jordan, you're just not sure with this, or you don't like why are you so low on Caleb Williams? Because I have him at 12, I believe, on my rankings. So I'm just kind of curious why
you have him at 11. You have it 11, okay. Trent. And Seth and Jordan have him actually at the lowest. They both have him at 21.
So I think I'm taking kind of a wait and see approach, which I don't know if I feel great about it because it kind of goes against kind of what I've done with quarterback in the past. I was a big Mahomes guy early on, kind of took a chance on him, and I just don't see it with Caleb. I'll be honest, I'm Jayden Daniels over Caleb Williams right now. I think I have him ranked that way too. I have Jayden ranked at 14 and Caleb ranked at 21. So I trust Jayden Daniels a little bit more with his floor, with his rushing ability. It's not that I don't like Caleb. I just think that I'm higher on guys like Tua and Trevor Lawrence, who I think consensus-wise we have at 17 and 18. Is that right, Trent? Or 15?
Consensus-wise, we have Tua at 17.
Yeah, I have them at 12 and 13. I think if I'm 12 and 13. So I'm higher on them. I'm higher on guys like Justin Herbert, who I think PFF has at 14 or 15. So I think I'm higher on other guys, veteran quarterbacks, kind of having bounce back years, as opposed to Caleb Williams. I'm probably a little low on him, but there's just a lot of unknowns with him. So I don't know. That's a roundabout way of saying that I think I'm being maybe too cautious here with him, but I think I can live with it.
Okay, where I'm at right here, it just seems like there's too many weapons right there in Chicago, right? I think there's a lot of weapons, and maybe I'm believing the hype too much. Like you said, I'm normally opposite on rookie quarterbacks. I usually put them lower. I'm very high on Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams. I have Jayden Daniels, you'll see earlier or later, I have Jayden Daniels at QB 13. So I'm high on Jayden Daniels. I have them right by each other. And looking at this, we did this a little while ago. We haven't updated them since we did it. I think I like Jayden maybe a little bit better. It doesn't look like Ayuk's going to go to the Commanders. So maybe that, I don't know, that probably just helps Terry McLaurin. I don't know if that really helps Jayden. I guess it gives him another weapon if he were to go there. But
another thing is that I think when I redo these rankings in August, I think I'll be higher on Caleb. Honestly, I just want to see him. I want to see him in a preseason game. I just want to see how he looks, and So I could see myself changing my mind or bumping him up significantly after the first couple preseason games.
Yeah. What is it with you, Seth? You just don't like the nails? Like what are you thinking with Caleb?
I'm thinking the same thing as Jordan. Like, I think we need to see some games first. Like, I think he's good and I think he's fine. I mean, off-field antics. I mean, you can have your opinion. I certainly have mine, but I think on the field he has proved it. He can be good, but I mean, that's also against some teams that I don't think were very good in college. And when he did have to play some quality teams, he also didn't perform as well as we all thought he would at times. But every quarterback has bad games, but I think it'll be a test to see how well he does. I think a good gauge will be about, I don't know, 3 or 4 games. We'll see how good he actually is.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the potential to kill it, and he has the potential to bomb it, I think, too. So
Yeah. That's the other thing that kind of threw me off with you, Jordan, is because he's even mobile too. You know what I mean? Like he's not a runner, he's mobile. Like he can avoid pressure, stuff like that, keep the play going, right? So
Yeah, it's so also Trent, the way I liked out honestly, like unless most people play in what 12 team, 10 team leagues.
yeah. Yeah.
And so you really don't need a quarterback outside of the top 12. I don't really have him in the top 12 yet. And I think I'll come up higher on him eventually. I'll probably have him end up like in that 13, 14, 15 range. And the truth is you don't really need quarterbacks outside of top 12. So he's gonna be for most people, for me, like a streamer, a filler, a replacement if someone gets hurt. Now obviously in a two super flex league, he's gonna get drafted, and that's where that ranking probably matters a little bit more. And Dynasty, I think he's an automatic number 1 overall. So I think long term I like him over Jayden Daniels. So it's just one of those things where I almost would trust. I just kind of feel safer with ranking guys ahead of him in that teens range. But I do think when I redo these, I'll be higher on him.
Yeah. And you said, I don't know, like, I don't think he's going to struggle so much that, like, I don't think you're leaving drafts with Caleb Williams being a waiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're streaming him, I think it's because someone.
Yeah, but Trent, come on. We don't give advice to draft 2 quarterbacks in drafts.
Oh,
right?
yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're in a 12 team, like, there's, you think he's an automatic QB1 in every league? You think he's a top 12 quarterback off the rip?
I have him at 12. I think he's going to get drafted. I think he is going to get drafted in top 12 is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But I also think if you're drafting a rookie quarterback, I think you're probably taking someone a little later that, possibility like streamer type. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so hard to say with rookie quarterbacks. Like I don't think I'm going to have any Caleb Williams in drafts unless it's just ridiculous value. I'm also kind of the part where I'm like, I don't want to have a bad QB, so I kind of think I'm going to be probably going a little earlier. You know what I'm saying? With how bad quarterback play was last year, I don't know if I want to wait. There was a lot of guys last year that said, like, Trevor Lawrence is the last QB I'm willing to take. And I think all those guys that waited for Trevor Lawrence last year and took him, like, that was something really popular on X last year. And if if Trevor Lawrence was the guy you ended up taking last year, you finished at he finished at QB 10, which QB 10, which not terrible, but I think everybody thought
probably
he was finishing higher than that.
You probably drafted him at QB 10, so like in your draft, so it kind of probably was the right value.
Yeah, but guys who finished Baker Mayfield finished at 11 though, like guys who finished ahead of him who you could have got after him, like Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, so I don't know, but we'd probably gone through what are we on right now? 19 through 16.
Yeah.
19 through 15 long enough. Phil, you ready to read the next list? Phil, I think you hit the space bar there.
Yeah, did you guys talk about Kirk Cousins already? You may have jumped into him.
We didn't talk about Kirk Cousins. Bring that up.
Sorry, there was someone yelling outside my home. I live in an interesting part of town, so I had to go check on that. Sorry for. I'm just kidding. But that is why I stepped away. The thing that I can't. So Kirk Cousins obviously coming off an injury. He also had Justin Jefferson. He finished at QB 24 overall and missed games 9 through 18. Obviously, there's a bye week in there. He finished QB 9 week 1, QB 2 week 2, QB 4 week 3, QB 22 week 4, QB 10 week 5, QB 24 against Chicago week 6, QB 6, and then QB 12. It is hard for me to rank him. I know you guys have him a little bit lower. Trent, I think, is actually the highest for Kirk Cousins. I know he's a Falcons guy, but it is tough for me to see him outside of the top 15. In terms of like you don't think he's landing in the top 15 there, Jordan? He's just outside of it, but you don't think he's closer to 10 than he is 20? You're essentially saying I think he finishes closer to 20 than I do 10.
I'm just scared about him.
It's hard. Like he's a high,
He's
what,
injured.
30? How old is he? 35? 35? Older than 35?
He's getting up there. I couldn't tell you the exact age.
He's 35.
Yeah.
35. Coming off an Achilles.
He's gonna be 36.
I just need to see it, man. I need to see it. Or he's coming off Achilles, right? It is an Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It scares me. And honestly, it's Aaron Rodgers the same way. But I mean, I just kind of trust Aaron Rodgers a little bit more. He also had a little more time.
Does that sound weird saying you trust Aaron Rodgers more?
Why would it sound weird?
I don't know. I just feel like everybody thinks he's kind of a nut. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not at practice right now.
He's like, yeah, but I mean, I would.
I love Aaron Rodgers.
He's
I
one of
just
the
feel
best
like most people don't say that.
of our generation, and like
our generation's
had a
Dan
whole
Marino.
year off. What?
Like kind of our generation's Dan Marino, like most talented passer.
Yeah. I mean, he was honestly he was kind of Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes a little bit, right? Like kind of move around, make some crazy throws. Like, no, I just trust that. Like, trust his just his IQ a little bit more, and I don't know, like his weapons maybe a little bit more. So I don't know.
Trust him in prime time a little bit more.
To trust his weapons, I definitely I trust his weapons more. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean Garrett Wilson. I think we're all Garrett Wilson over Drake London, right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on here. I just thought I'd bring that up. Let's go into the next ones here, Trent.
14 through 15. Actually, while we're doing that right here, I got a nice little video from Trophy Smack.
Trophy Smack is the absolute best place if you're looking for some fantasy football trophies. Last place trophies, first place trophies, bust of Patrick Mahomes. They've even got some nice wrestling singlets that say some, not so nice things about fantasy football. But guys, everything you need for your fantasy football league, head over to trophysmack.com/dudes. 15% off your whole entire order, guys. Go over to Trophy Smack. Tell them the dude sent you. You won't be sorry. You got to have a trophy for that fantasy football league.
All right. Thank you, Trophy Smack. Phil, what do we got next here? Read those off.
All right. Jayden Daniels at 14. Jared Goff at 13. Justin Herbstreit at 12. Number 11, Kyler Murray. And number 10, Anthony Richardson. Hear me out. Can I just say something? Kyler Murray has the legs. He obviously has two weapons, or one big weapon there in Arizona. I trust Kirk Cousins over Kyler Murray all day, every day. Like
you're crazy.
No,
that's insane.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
You like Kirk over Kyler?
I do. Yeah. Tell me why it's insane, Jordan.
Okay, one, there's no rushing upside with Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Two, like they're gonna run the ball there. You keep telling me how great Bijan is, and then and so it's like there's definitely a running floor that's higher there than in Arizona. I would imagine the Cardinals and the Falcons, because of Bijan so good, because of all these new weapons they have, because of Kirk Cousins himself, are going to be probably leading games more than the Cardinals are. So not playing from behind as much. Cardinals playing from behind. Kyler chucking in the pocket, getting out of the pocket, running, getting those scrambles. Way more rushing upside. Way more like just chasing floor. Like they're going to be chasing games, throwing from behind.
All right.
Probably he's about 10 years younger than Kirk Cousins.
10 years
coming off an Achilles injury.
10 years his junior. But
I mean,
he played more games than Kirk Cousins did last year and finished 2 spots behind Kirk Cousins last year. Kirk Cousins stopped at like game 8 and finished quarterback 24. Kyler Murray played more games than Kirk Cousins and finished quarterback 26. Now, he does have a bigger weapon there, a bigger offensive wide receiver now. So I can understand maybe going into this year why you'd have him ranked a little bit higher. Kyler Murray did not finish as high in any of the weeks that he played football last year as Kirk Cousins, who finished at QB2, which was his highest finish. Kyler's highest finish was
Kirk Cousins also played on a team last year who couldn't play defense, and he was throwing from behind.
He's throwing the ball 50 times a game.
Different. He's going to be in different game scripts this year. They have a running game they're going to commit to.
Okay.
And I just think they're going to be a little bit better.
Throw the ball probably close to like half the time as he did in Minnesota.
Phil, I realize that they have a different coach. I'm aware they have a different coach than last year, but there were games when the Falcons threw the ball less than 15 times a game last year. They're going to run the ball. And they're going to take it easy on them coming off the Achilles to start.
Potentially.
You can't tell me how good Bijan is and then tell me that they're going to be throwing the ball a ton.
I will say he has slightly more attempts, but just the fact that he had more, he finished higher and he played less games. Yes, he threw more attempts, but overall, if you actually add them up, I would want to say they're probably pretty similar in overall passing attempts made because Kyler played more games.
Okay,
and so
Kyler
if you want to take away,
of his own last year,
if you want to take away his low finish at 2, overall, he still had probably similar amount, and Kyler may have edged him out in overall attempts. I'm just saying. I'm just looking at those in the numbers. I get where you're coming from. Like this year, not Cardinals. Well, both of them I would assume would be slightly better, but Falcons are going to be better. They're not going to be playing from behind. That's just my thoughts there.
My only argument with Kyler is he did come off a knee injury last year, and I felt like it took him a couple games to knock the cobwebs off. I am higher on Kyler, but I think Kirk has a lot better weapons. That's what I'll give you. They're saying that Kyler looks really good and right now, but hey, Call of Duty's not out yet. So we got to remember that. Like once the new Call of Duty comes out, Seth, that's right. All those double points. Seth knows all about that. Seth's the same way. Seth, your fantasy team kind of dips during that time slot right there in October, right?
Yeah, I don't really play, so yeah. It's been a while, but when that whole report came out like 2 years ago, was that 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, it always just naturally goes down right at there when the double XP weekends come out.
Yeah. No, that I was playing then 2 years ago, but I haven't played for a while.
But
all right, can I just say something? I stand corrected. I fact checked myself, and Kirk Cousins did have more passing attempts than Kyler Murray. So,
I think the rushing attempts alone, I got to give the nod to Kyler. I feel weird having Kirk there, but it's just there's too much unknown coming off that Achilles injury, and yeah, that's the main thing. Achilles, and just how we saw how slow Kyler got going off a knee injury. I imagine Achilles would be slower, but I also don't think they're going to throw Kirk out there unless they absolutely have to. Like he's absolutely ready, right? So is he cleared yet? Do we know that? Is he 100% cleared for? Like I see him doing.
I haven't seen anything.
Like Rodgers, even like they have all the videos of him. Like they say he looks kind of like wonky running around. Like you've seen that. Like Pat McAfee. I don't know, not Pat McAfee. A bunch of guys have talked about how he just like he looks like he's kind of hobbling. Like it doesn't look natural. Him running around. We have very little footage on him at practice. There's just one play they keep showing. But,
anyhow, I probably took up too much time there. Kyler Murray, we have there. Anything with Jared Goff, Anthony Richardson, Jordan. I know you're high on Jayden. Oh, go ahead.
Well, okay, a couple things just for me. Jayden Daniels, I'm pretty high on. I might kind of in line. I have him at 14. That's what our consensus is.
I am at 13.
I am way higher on Justin Herbert than a little bit higher than Seth, way higher than Trent, and way higher than like the PFF at 15. I think we get a big. I get the hesitations with Herbert as far as like, just not throwing the ball enough, just because, kind of what I just said about Kirk Cousins, but like Harbaugh running the ball. But I just think Justin Herbert's really good. And so I'm kind of looking forward to a little bounce back. 8, I have him at 8, might be a little too high. Maybe kind of 10 is where he belongs. And then we got to talk about Anthony Richardson because I have Anthony Richardson at 16.
Yeah, before you
And
get to
Trent,
Richardson though, Jordan, we've gotten this argument about Jordan Love last week, and I'm a big Jordan Love advocate. I don't know which receiver is going to be the best one. What Chargers wide receiver do you have ranked so high to have Herbert so high? Like Quentin Johnson? Is it Lad McConkey? Like who are you going with here? Because I feel weird having Justin Herbert this low because I think Herbert's really good. You're on record saying you don't think Harbaugh's very good. But this whole thing with Herbert, I wouldn't be shocked if he finished higher. I just don't know where the targets are going to be coming from. Like, is it Josh Palmer, the guy? I don't know if we have one Chargers wide receiver on the top 40 list. I think I have Lad McConkey at 40, and it could be Josh Palmer for all we know who number one is on that. You know what I'm saying, though?
I think it's Josh Palmer. Actually, I think I have Josh Palmer. I thought I ranked Josh Palmer, but
Oh, he does. Okay.
Mhm.
I have Palmer at 35 or something. So, above Rashee Rice, and above DeAndre Hopkins. But I think he could spread it out, Trent. He might spread it out between him, Palmer, Quentin Johnson, Lad McConkey. Herbert does have some rushing upside a little bit. He's been known to rush in a couple touchdowns every once in a while. So I just think we get a bounce back. I think Herbert was so low last year. I mean, what did he finish? He finished.
It was not a good finish. Last year, he finished as QB 18.
Yeah.
Right now,
so I just think that was a fluke year. I think he was hurt most of the year. I do think he was hurt. I know he was hurt almost all year. And so I think we get a bounce back, a solid bounce back year from Justin Herbert.
Yeah. His ADP is 124 right now on Sleeper. So, that's a good guy that if you want to wait late on quarterbacks, if you believe in Justin Herbert, he might be the guy that can, take you there.
I would imagine, Trent, and I'm going to start doing this soon, start doing some best ball stuff, but on our friends at Underdog, I would assume that I end up with a lot of Charger stacks with Herbert, Josh Palmer, Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnston. It's probably going to be cheap stacks over there. And I think, cheap as far as low
ADP,
rounds.
Yeah.
And I think
cheap
probably
stacks
will be a lot of I as of right now, I think I'll end up with a lot of Herbert stacks in best ball.
On Underdog. All right. Anthony Richardson. We want to talk about Anthony Richardson. I'm very high on Anthony Richardson.
You have him at 9.
I'm believing the hype. Where do you have him, Seth?
I actually have Richardson at 7, I believe. I
Okay,
think
you're the
the
highest
rushing
on
upside
Richardson.
is huge. Now, Jonathan Taylor is back, but we did see Zach Moss and him both do kind of good when they were both playing. So, and I also thought Anthony Richardson wasn't terrible throwing the ball, but he was throwing shorter routes, I think is what we were talking about, which I think makes Michael Pittman a lot better, is throwing these shorter routes. But I mean, I don't think the Colts are going to be I don't think they're going to be really good, but I also don't think they're going to be bad. I think it's going to be in a perfect spot to where Richardson can use his athleticism, what they drafted him for, to put them in positions to win games. And I think that he's going to be running in a lot of touchdowns.
I think we are way too. Yeah. I think Seth has him ranked correctly. I think we're way too low on Anthony Richardson, because looking at my rankings right here, I have Anthony Richardson at QB 9. I just think,
Trent, we're low because I have him at 16.
Yeah,
that's
fine. Was it Steichen? Is that how you say his name? Who's their coach? The Colts head coach. Is it Anthony? Is it Steichen? Coach Steichen? Steichen? How do you say it?
I think you said
Steichen.
it right.
Steichen.
Steichen? Yeah, I think you said it right.
Steichen. Okay. This guy's a QB whisperer. He's had Phillip Rivers. He's had Justin Herbert. He's had Jalen Hurts. Every QB this guy has does really good in fantasy football. Look at last year at the Colts. The Colts almost made playoffs last year with Gardner Minshew being their QB. And Gardner Minshew finished as QB 21. That's not great. It's not good at all. It's not, they're not saying it's not great. But he can make offenses, fit to whoever his quarterback is. I think he's one of the best QB coaches. Richardson gets hurt a lot. We got to get Richardson to stay healthy. He's 6'4", 240. He's huge. He runs fast, has a cannon arm, not super accurate, but I think the RPOs with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, I think Anthony Richardson could be a league-winning type QB. I'm going to try to get a lot of Anthony Richardson. I'm very high on him. What does PFF have him, Jordan? I know you don't like him, but like last year when he played, week 1, he was QB4. Week 2, QB19, not great. I don't know if he got hurt at halftime in that game. I think he left at halftime.
So he got hurt. I have it here. He got hurt in week 2.
Yeah. So then he didn't play week 3. Week 4, he was QB4. Then he got hurt in week 5. So, and he was QB19 in week 2. And I think he had a rushing touchdown before. Like, I think he finished the game with 12 points. And he only played a quarter and a half. So I think Anthony Richardson could be very good. We just got to keep him to stay healthy. That he's in the perfect place to be good. But what do you not like, Jordan? You just think he can't stay healthy, or?
I think there's the health. I also just I'll be honest, I prefer Jayden Daniels straight up.
Wow.
What's the difference? What is the difference, Trent? You keep talking everything you're saying about Anthony Richardson. Jayden Daniels can do the same exact stuff, and honestly, I think he's a better thrower of the football. I think he's more polished as a quarterback. He has better weapons, I think, at the receiver position. He doesn't have to compete, and he doesn't have to compete around the goal line with Jonathan Taylor. I'm being honest. What's the difference between them? You've seen one play 4 games and the other one plays 0.
Coaching that has that has always had success with whoever his coach is.
Okay.
So who's the Commander's coach? I think coaching is a big deal. I think coaching makes everything different. You said Aaron Rodgers was, our day, kind of Patrick Mahomes for Patrick Mahomes. Give Aaron Rodgers Andy Reid, and maybe he's had a couple more Super Bowls too. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers
Dan Quinn is the
head coach of the Commanders, defensive coach.
Yeah.
So with what's his name, the old USC, the old Cardinals coach is their OC.
Kingsbury's the OC.
Yeah. So yeah, Kingsbury's good, but let's not.
Cliff Kingsbury's always had solid, decent quarterbacks. I feel like prior to this,
solid. I don't think they have that consistency that Steichen has, though. Steichen is how you say it.
Wait, wasn't he Patrick Mahomes' coach at Texas Tech?
At Texas Tech, yes. And then he was at the Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray, and he's not the coach there anymore. Then he was at USC with Caleb Williams. So I don't know, do we think that those guys are good without him? You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams, 2 of the best QB. He's also the same coach that got rid of Baker Mayfield, right? So
he was also the coach for Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
yeah. So maybe it's closer than
Coach Baker Mayfield. I know Mayfield went to Oklahoma, but I don't know. I guess my point is that from a pure skill set standpoint, Jayden Daniels and Anthony Richardson are very similar, Trent.
I would agree, but
now he doesn't have the explosive arm that maybe Anthony Richardson has, but I think he's a better quarterback right now than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, Jayden Daniels has that robot looking elbow.
Yeah,
that
sure.
Might be Photoshop.
Yeah, true.
What is Anthony Richardson 6'4"? What is Jayden Daniels, 6'2"?
Yep. Anthony Richardson's 6'4", 240, and he's the fastest guy on the field.
Jayden Daniels is 6'4".
Jayden Daniels 6'4" too, Trent.
210.
Yeah,
he's a little bit.
He's a string bean.
Yeah, he's definitely smaller.
That guy is not a string bean. If you watched him at LSU, he's not a string bean, Trent.
Yeah,
the guy, your elbow doesn't. Yeah, but the guy didn't play like a string bean. He threw his body around
your elbow doesn't stick out like a toothpick when you're not a string bean.
Hey, Anthony Richardson's weight is really helping him avoid those concussions, isn't it?
He just needs to slide a little bit. He just needs to slide a little bit.
Trent, your logic is just flawed. I'm being honest right now.
Keep going.
You
Jordan.
can't say that One guy is going to be injury prone because he's a string bean. Well, the other guy is actually injury prone.
No.
And
All I said is Anthony Richardson's the biggest guy on the field. He's the biggest guy and the fastest guy on the field.
All right. I know our fans love this type of content, but you know what? I'm gonna try a new segment. It's called Judge Seth. And so I know Seth has been twiddling his thumbs over there, quietly listening to the arguments back and forth. Seth, who do you think is more wrong? We're not going to give anyone who is more right because these guys are both dumb. But
hold on, one more thing.
Who is more wrong?
Who do you think ran the faster 40?
No. Facts have been
ran
closed.
The faster 40?
The jury is
Jayden Daniels ran a faster 40, but what's the weight difference?
All right, so that's fine.
What's the weight difference?
0.02 off is not going to make a huge difference.
Everyone says Anthony Richardson's 40 is like the most impressive thing they've ever seen in combine history.
Who is more wrong?
I think they're definitely both of them are right to a certain degree.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Seth.
I think they are more comparable than I think people think. I think one thing is people have seen what Anthony Richardson's done in the NFL and other people, and you haven't seen what Jayden Daniels has done. I think they sort of the same player. They might finish closer to each other, but I do think Anthony Richardson has a slight lean to him just because he has performed in games that he's played in, right?
So you're saying Jordan is more wrong?
I mean, I guess, but not really. Like, that's just, we're kind of like fighting over like,
choose a side, brother. I want you to point fingers at people right now.
We're fighting over a wishbone right now.
Yeah,
I'll give you this, Trent. Buck bet. I take.
Okay, I'll do. But just straight up.
Straight up. Straight up.
All right.
Straight up friendship right there. You guys are friends again after that argument, and I'm happy to see it. I'm here for it.
But to be honest, I'm probably too low on Anthony Richardson at 16. It's probably too low. I probably need to move him up closer to like maybe 12. I think I'm going to move all of him, Caleb, and Jayden Daniels all need to be moved up in my rankings.
Yeah.
That will happen.
I have Anthony. Yeah, I have Jayden at 13, so he's right out of my. I might flip Jayden and Caleb, eventually, and then all of our 49er homers. I feel like they're going to be a little upset that we're so low on Brock Purdy. We already did Brock Purdy, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
On the last list.
So we're down to. Are we down to 9 now, Trent? 9 through.
We're down
5?
to 9. So here I'll
what were you gonna say, Jordan? Hold on, Jordan's gonna say something. Jordan, were you saying something?
All right, so let's get this top 10 going.
Okay, cool.
All right. I'll dial that up. I'll dial that up right now.
Dudes, we get it. Fantasy football is tough. From injuries, lineup decisions, stage fright at the draft. But what shouldn't be tough is the platform you play fantasy football on. Make the best and easiest fantasy football decision today. Text your commissioner right now and demand he takes your league over to Sleeper. From trading rookie draft picks, multi-team trades, a chat, and much more, Sleeper is the ultimate place to play fantasy football. And now Sleeper's offering picks with dynamic payouts, where you can win 100 times your money. They have multiple ways to play and easy research tools right there in the app, so you can make a good decision. Cheer together and watch your contest unfold in real time. All you gotta do is pick a player and choose an over-under. It's that easy, guys. The next easiest part is enter promo code DUDES100 and they will match you up to $100, guys. Come on, what are you waiting for? Take your league to the next level and have some more fun and win some cash along the way. Head over to Sleeper, guys. You won't regret it. I promise.
Alrighty, getting in here inside the top 10. But before we get in the top 10, guys, remember, don't be rude, share the dudes. Head over to YouTube at tffdudes. Check out a picture of my sunburn I got a couple weeks ago. Yes, that is my red neck. So head over to TFFdudes. Give us a like, give us a sub.
Name is that Razorburn? Like, what the heck is that?
That's called mowing your lawn, Phil. That's called mowing your lawn. That's called mowing your lawn in a low cut tee on the back. So yes. Anyways, let's get into the top 9 right here, guys. All right, Phil, you want to read those off for us, big guy?
Oh, Seth Zing. Oh, that is classic. All right.
Yeah, some judge.
Oh, Seth judging that was almost as bad as dudes decide, but he made up for it with that Rugburn comment. All right. We have number 9, Dak Prescott. Number 8, Jordan Love. We have 2 Jordan Loves. Are you kidding me?
That's a bad copy and paste there. I am so sorry, guys. My bad. I will fix that right now. I will fix that right now while we keep talking. And then Joe Burrow.
I don't know. Then Joe Burrow, but who did you actually have there? Because we actually have Jordan Love there twice.
It's
I don't know.
you have Jordan Love in the.
I have him on there twice, so I must just put him on there twice. Maybe it's I'm gonna have to go through and redo that whole thing, guys. I thought I
Is
had
Jalen,
it.
is Jalen Hurts? No, Jalen Hurts. Let me see if we can
No,
figure this out. Trent.
there's no need. There's no need, Jordan. We just
Is it
got to keep
Stroud?
going. No, Stroud's 5.
All right,
So,
no need. We'll just get to
no
5
need,
when we
keep
get to.
going.
This is an anonymous QB that is not in that pack there. So we're gonna talk about Burro and
Yak was 10 or no.
I think you just messed up, Trent. I think you.
No,
see,
I messed up. No, I
everyone's-
messed up
no.
my formula. Yeah, it might be.
I think everyone's just bumped up higher. I think.
I think so.
That's all right.
No, that one makes. I don't know then.
I'm not sure what I did there, but just a little mistake on the Excel sheet.
Anyways, let's just talk about Jordan Love then. Just talk
Yeah.
about
Talk
him.
about
Phil was already, couldn't quit talking about how much he liked his pants and low socks. So Jordan
no
Love,
socks.
no
Well,
socks.
maybe he was wearing socks. It was hard to tell.
Seth, what do you got to say about Jordan Love? You like him? You dislike him? I did some polls on X about Jordan Love.
I think
With-
like he proved in some games he was going to be good, and I think he has like a lot of offensive weapons. I just think, in my personal opinion, which doesn't mean very much, but I think I just need to see another year out of him. So I am going to avoid. I think if it comes up to me, I'm not going to take. If he comes to me, I don't think I'm going to take the risk. So I think I'm just going to let him go. But I do have
Trent.
him.
I know who
Yeah.
it is.
Who is it?
No, is it Jared Goff or no?
No, we already covered him.
We already
I
covered.
already
Goff.
had Jared Goff. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, I'll stop. I'm trying to figure it out.
That's all right. No, hey, we appreciate the effort, Jordan, that you're putting into fixing Trent's mistake.
No, well, just
tell us what you
just-
want to say about Jordan Love.
Just Jordan Love here. I did a poll here on X at tffdudes. I did fantasy battle the young guns who have a better fantasy season. Brock Purdy ranked by PFF at QB 11, or Jordan Love ranked at QB 9. And no surprise. Actually, this is a surprise. Or no, sorry, I was looking at the wrong. 70% said Jordan Love. 30% said Brock Purdy. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone, but we're a little lower than PFF on Brock Purdy. Everyone's very high on Jordan Love. You saw the guy on ESPN come out today and said, outside of Patrick Mahomes, there's no other quarterback I would rather start a team around than Jordan Love. Like, guys are getting really high on Jordan Love. Like, Jordan, you're talking about Jayden Reed. Like, what are you thinking about Jordan Love? Like, are you willing to draft him? Or are you thinking he's going too soon? Or is he not proven enough for you?
I like Jordan Love just as in a vacuum. Like I really like him. I kind of think he might get steamed too much. I think like last year, I think he was one of the best values, like in best ball, probably off the waiver wire. I'd be curious, like what was his ADP last year? Do we know, Trent? Like just kind of
Do not have his ADP at the moment.
can try
just
and
like
set
where
it
he
up.
was going and where he was going in drafts. That I feel like he was maybe one of the best values of the quarterback position last year. And I think he might be one of the worst values this year. Like, just not that I don't like him, like I still like him. And I just think he might get steamed too much. I mean, what's his ADP right now? I mean, like PFF has him at 9. I think he's going to get steamed up. I think he might get up to that 5-6 area, Trent. Like, I think he's going to start going over Burrow, maybe over like,
PFF, he's at QB 9.
yeah, I know. Like, I could see
Yeah.
him get steamed all the way up to like maybe that 6, where it's like over Burrow and Dak, and maybe even like maybe over Anthony Richardson, where like maybe even up to that CJ Stroud, Lamar. I just I could see him getting steamed the more and closer we get, just kind of to the season and to drafting time. And I wonder, like at some point, is it too much? Is it too high?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find.
No,
Trying
I
to
do like
find-
him.
Okay.
Okay. I agree with you. I think he's too unproven for me to want to get him where he's going. And I think that's kind of what you said, Jordan, with him moving up. Because, like, Seth, who are you going with? Are you going Joe Burrow or are you going Jordan Love?
It's
Is it-
easy,
you're
Joe
gonna-
Burrow. It's
because
easy.
you're gonna have to like I know like Burrow by PFF is QB7, Jordan Love's QB9, so that's going in the same spot. Would you go Jordan Love or Anthony Richardson?
I'm Jordan Love there,
Mm,
but
I think I'd go Jordan Love, maybe just because they're less likely to get hurt. But I do think Anthony Richardson finishes higher if he stays healthy.
There's so much unknown with like Jordan Love, like where you just feel like he's just scratched the surface last year. I have Jordan Love higher, so I think I'd have to go Jordan Love, but I would see myself, I would have trouble. I probably go Jordan Love. I think in my next rankings, we'll see where I do, see if I juice up Jordan or juice up Richardson more than that. But like, what about CJ Stroud or Jordan Love? That's a common
Stroud.
one going around. Stroud. Okay.
It's Stroud, but it's probably closer than I think, and that's where like I could see him being. I think they're both like, to be honest, I think both of them are kind of bad QB value. We'll get there, but like I don't think like last year I had a lot of Jordan Love and Underdog like best ball, like Jordan Love
Yeah.
stacks with like January. I had way too much Christian Watson for what it's worth, but like that's probably why those stacks didn't end up doing good. It's because I probably had a lot of Watson, but I just don't know if there's much value there anymore with both him and Stroud. They're both getting steamed big time. Like I'd just rather take like Herbert like at QB 12 than Jordan Love at
Jordan
QB
Love.
6, QB 7. Like I don't know. Like maybe that's wrong. It might be wrong. I don't know.
What about Jayden Daniels or Jordan Love?
It's Jordan Love in a vacuum, right? If you're going
Mhm.
straight up, it's Jordan Love.
Yeah, but draft
it's
value,
not-
ADP.
Yeah, it's tough when you start accounting for that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do we anything else we want to say about on that whole graph there that was kind of messed up?
I do think Burrow. I think we're gonna bounce back here. Burrow and Herbert are very similar for me. I think we get bounce backs from Burrow as well. And then
what about Dak? Dak was at
is just,
9. You
I don't
think
know.
is 9
he's just
kind of his
Dak.
spot?
Like he's
Is
safe.
that his
I
spot though?
don't.
Is 9?
Yeah,
I feel like Dak's going to go later than that in a lot of drafts, depending if you have that crazy Cowboys fan, which every league seems to have one. But like Dak's going at 9 right now. He's 8 on PFF. So like,
I don't love Dak for what it's worth, but he's fine.
yeah,
He's
he
fine.
just did so contract year though. He finished his QB3 last year. He's QB8.
Man, he was good. I don't think he was really good last year.
Yeah, he led the NFL in passing touchdowns. I think Lamb is only going to be better.
But can he repeat it again? Like,
I
is
don't
he a
know.
guy who can repeat that 2 years in a row?
Contract year, we'll see. Last time he's on a contract year, he broke his ankle, but he was on pace to break Kurt Warner's single season passing yard record. I don't know. He was so good last year. I don't know if he can go back to back like that. And where you got Dak last year was just so good. And he went on just like a huge streak of being really good. All right, Phil, who do we got next here? You want to read that next list?
Yes, sir. So we have CJ Stroud at number 5, Lamar Jackson at number 4, Jalen Hurts at number 3, Josh Allen at number 2, and Patrick Mahomes at number 1.
All right. Any discrepancies here? I had Josh Allen at 1 on my list.
I think that's fine.
I think I'm the only one with him at 1. He was QB1 last year. And I don't know. It's just weird with wide receivers, but he's going to get all those goal line carries, and I think they're going to figure it out over there. I think Keon Coleman.
Well, I think he's going to run more.
I think he's going to have to run more, and that's what I like. And I think he'll find someone there. Other guys here in this top 5.
That's obviously why I have Allen there at 2, right? But I do think Hurts is still 3. I think that's a very easy top 3. Like,
yeah,
I think that's almost.
Well, Trent doesn't have it like that.
No, my top 3 is totally
doesn't
different.
Have it.
And I might even
change. Yeah, you probably need to explain your number 2.
I might change my top 3 a little bit. I I'm getting nervous about CJ Stroud. I don't know why. Maybe it's just everyone's talking him up so much. I loved CJ Stroud last year. I was talking about MVP. I might bounce him out a little bit, but right now I have Josh Allen at 1, Stroud at 2, Mahomes at 3.
What's
So-
worrying you about
like
it?
What, Jordan?
No, I think it's what I just said. Like, you're worried about like the value just getting too high, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's wild you having Stroud above Mahomes. I think that's absolutely wild. Like, it doesn't really make any sense to me at all. Like, I can understand the Allen over Mahomes. Like, I get that. Mahomes had a bad year last year.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna happen again. Like,
if none of
still
his
in
receivers
prime,
get
like,
arrested.
he's not. Yeah, I mean, but like, if Mahomes receivers don't drop balls, I mean, he probably ends up in the top 5 at
his
QB, right?
Wide receivers were terrible last year. You're right. They should
And
be
so,
better.
I think it's wild. I think that's such recency bias to have Stroud over Mahomes, and
That might be where I'm at, is recency bias. So but like Stroud's receivers are so good, man. I feel like he's to be better. Like if you would have had Stroud in your top 10 last year, people would have thought you were crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like Stroud was on fire last year, and just with what I've seen from him, I think he's only going to get better. And maybe you're right. Maybe Stroud's that guy you take, and that, you know, maybe Stroud should be the quarterback you're willing to be the last one on your board that you don't want to take. You know what I mean? Like if you're like me, worried about quarterback play, right? If he is 3, where do you guys have Stroud? Jordan, you have him at 6. Seth, where do you have him? You have him at 6 also. I have Lamar. I was really high on Lamar last year. I had him at 1 on my list. He finished at 4. Hurts. There's a lot of weird, naysay about Hurts right now at Eagles camp. And then there's guys saying maybe Hurts just isn't that good.
no, I mean, he's an elite fantasy guy no matter what. So,
well, do you think
matter.
He takes a step back though without Kelsey? You think he loses some tush push? I don't think the tush push will be as good as what it was.
I don't think it'll be as good, but
Carson Wentz, look at Carson Wentz QB sneaks he had when Kelsey was there. Like Kelsey is really good at that. I think we're underestimating that. But
I mean, Trent, Jalen Hurts barely did not run as much as he did in previous years, and was still QB2 last year.
Yeah,
like
Hurts, how many rushing TDs did he have though?
Still a lot, but I mean,
like I think the rushing TDs go down a little bit.
That's something where I'm gonna have to see that to like. I guess maybe I'm kind of not giving Kelsey as much credit as maybe I should in that success. Like I'm not saying he wasn't good. I'm just saying like I feel like it's still gonna be there, and maybe I'm wrong on that.
Well, it was still there with Carson Wentz is what I'm saying. Like they're good at the QB. They were good at the QB sneak.
Yeah.
So I know they have a lot of other good linemen there. Anything else we want to do here on this QB ranking that we want to throw in here?
Just figure out what happened and then send it. I'm trying to figure it out. Like I can't see where you went wrong here. Like,
I think I doubled up and did one too many.
Okay.
We're gonna have, because I highlight each name to make sure I go through them all, and I think I just put one guy in twice.
Gotcha. All right.
So, but anyways, well, guys, you want to hop into divas here, right here? Jordan, you said you had a diva. Divas.
Yeah.
Those you knew the show, we just do divas, something that just kind of ticked us off during the week, whether we saw it, viral online, whether it happened to us, whether it, just something that annoyed us. Jordan,
I'm gonna save one for later. But I'm gonna do the one that I think is pretty relevant right now. Like, have you guys seen the video of the Texas A&M baseball coach who, and he said that they asked him right after the College World Series, they lost against Tennessee, and they asked him like, "Are you gonna be here next year or whatever?" And he said that he was insulted by the question, something like that, and then he said, "I didn't move my family all the way over here to leave. Like I have no intention of, I'm not going anywhere. Basically, I did not move my family all the way over here to coach somewhere else." And then 24 hours later, he's coaching in Texas. Like, come on, dude. Like, you're a diva. Like, I understand. And then he apologized and said, like, oh, like it was 30 minutes after the game. It's the last thing I want to think about. Well, you don't have to say what you did. You could just said, like, man, the game just ended. I haven't really thought about it. I really
Yeah.
like coaching here. You don't have to say, I didn't move my family all the way over here and I'm not going anywhere. And then literally 24 hours later, less than 24 hours later, you take the job at Texas. Come
The
on,
biggest
dude. That's pretty
rival,
bad.
literally the biggest rival.
Yeah, and you're going to take all the players with you. That's such a diva move. I understand if you don't want to answer the question, that's fine. But
Texas
there's other
is gonna
ways
give
you
him
could
so much money. It's crazy.
There's other ways he could have answered the question than saying what he did.
Yeah. He should have just said, I need some time to think about it or something.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about that right now. We'll
Yeah.
cross that bridge when it comes or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, such a bad. And then the tone of his voice, he was angry and mad and then he literally leaves 24 hours later.
So what was
He's
the deal?
angry
Why
and
did
mad
he
about
dip?
it? And then they saw the
Money,
money that was
Phil.
in his face.
They
Oh,
lost the national championship. Texas A&M did to Tennessee. And then after they asked him if he was going to leave, and he said, no, this is my home. I moved my family
They
here.
asked him about rumors about Texas. Literally,
Oh, so
asked him if
people
he was
already
gonna
knew
leave.
he was kind of it leaked that
Well,
he
there
was flirting with
I
them.
think it was his former AD was now the AD at Texas.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was basically
just
he
the
said
fact
his best
that
friend,
he said he would not do it, and then 24
Yeah.
hours he bounced. It's just
if you get asked that question, you're like, why do you ask me that question right now? I just lost a baseball game. Let's talk about something else. And then you do it. You don't just be like, under no circumstances.
Yeah.
I think
would
if he
I
wins, he
ever.
bounces.
That's a weird one. I don't know.
A&M might have paid him a bunch of money if he won, because A&M has money too.
Trent loves
no,
A&M.
I don't even know it's about the money. I think the AD at Texas is one of his best friends.
Okay. Yeah, then it should have just been an easy whatever.
Trent, you a College Station guy?
I don't mind College Station. I do tour the state of Texas every once in a while. I have a lot of acquaintances that are very big Texas A&M fans. I probably know more Texas A&M fans than any other college, but I like Oklahoma more than Texas A&M. So you can't I don't
It's hard
hate,
to like them.
I don't hate them though. You know what I mean?
But they've been an SEC school. I mean, I guess now Oklahoma is an SEC school. So
yeah. So I don't know.
All right. Well,
All right.
do you want me to give
Phil,
you my diva real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I feel
Phil.
like I've said this one before, and
Just
some
do
of these, they make me sound like a bad person, and maybe that's okay. People like saving the environment. I think that's fine. I'm totally okay with it in most situations. If you want to have a hydro flask, totally fine. Not a big deal. Here is my deal. Okay. I was fixing to get a drink of water at the water fountain. Someone doesn't cut me off necessarily, but they just happen to make it there quicker. They then proceed to fill up a hydro flask at a water fountain. There should be some sort of etiquette, water fountain etiquette, some would say. Whereas if you are filling up a hydro flask, 32 ounces, 48, whatever it ends up being, there should be water fountain etiquette where you let the person who's just going to drink, maybe 8 ounces of water tops out of a shot and just hold while instead of filling up your hydro flask. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I get first come, first serve at the water fountain. But if there's someone who's only going to be drinking 6 to 8 ounces, going to take them all of 3 to 5 seconds, you don't fill up your 32-ounce hydro flask, which is going to take all of 60 seconds. You get what I'm saying? That's unbelievable.
I hate that I'm agreeing with you. Yes, no, you're absolutely right. This is probably the truest thing you ever said on this pod. Drinking fountain etiquette is dead.
Drinking fountain etiquette is dead. People leave gum on those things. That's an issue. But really, the biggest concern is you don't go and fill up a hydro flask. And if you're filling up a hydro flask and you see that there's a line filling up behind you, you say, you know what? I have filled it up to as much as I'm going to fill it up. I can almost guarantee you're not going to die by not getting, the extra 12 ounces of water before you make it home.
Absolutely. If this is the emergency, you're dying of dehydration, fill up the hydro flask. But yes, no, you go to the back of the line, you drink the water while everyone else fills up, gets their fill.
Yeah, and if you're you're on a water diet, you're trying to lose weight by drinking so many ounces of water, fill it up in the bathroom. I don't give a rat's prayer. Do whatever you have to do so I'm not having to deal with you filling up your
No,
hydro flask.
it's true, man. It's true.
I don't know what we're doing.
I had something really good to say there, and I got thrown off when you said rat's prayer. You know, like I just
I
totally
think you
lost my train of thought.
coined that phrase. It was either you
Yeah,
or a cousin of yours.
No, I've said that for a long time. We talk about everything else about rats. Why not their prayers? But anyways,
Do you get what I'm saying though? Like, come on, like
I agree with you.
and
No,
this
I
is
totally
the problem.
agree.
You would think if it's like, maybe it's some teeny bopper that doesn't have any manners. This was an adult woman doing this. An adult.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing though, like Phil, I remember waiting for you in line because you had those what were they? Those flip-flops. And they had the water bottle on them, the what, Seth?
Tivas?
Feels Tivas.
No,
you're talking about the
Reefs.
bottle
Phil had
openers?
Reefs with the water.
No, that was my
canteen, and
brother.
he'd
You're
fill
thinking
those
of
up
my
and-
brother. You're thinking of my brother.
I
I
had the
did.
can open one. Can
I
opener
think-
Reefs. Those are cool.
I did buy some nice reefs at the Ramate one time for $20. They weren't beefs either. They were legit reefs. Like they were a nice pair
That's
of reefs
cool,
that I
man.
wore most of my life. We're just talking flip flops, Jordan.
Yeah.
Anything to chime in there, Seth? Jordan? I know Seth wears jeans and flip flops all the time.
Yeah,
Absolutely
jorts.
not.
Yeah. Flip flops and Jordan. So everyone agree? Can we just? I feel like I won
agree.
Diva. I'm
agree.
sorry, Jordan. I think I
agree.
won
Okay.
Diva here.
Hey, here's mine. This has been on my list for a long time. I'm finally getting to it. I had a cousin show up to a meeting in overalls. Everyone made fun of him. And I don't think overalls look that bad. So if you're making fun of a guy who wears overalls, I think you're a diva. Overalls are the backbone of this country.
Hold on.
Overalls built this country, Jordan. Overalls is a working man. If you have a problem with overalls, you just hate blue collar workers. That's all that comes down to.
No, there's like this thing called like etiquette. It's Phil's talking about etiquette. You don't wear overalls to a meeting.
You don't wear them to
indoors? Was it indoors?
Yes, but
In an
was he on a
office.
tractor? Was he
In
on
an
a
office.
tractor? Was he on a tractor? Yes. So you should give him the respect for being a blue collar worker, helping feed this whole entire country. That's what you should do.
Does this man only own overalls? Does he not?
It just
own,
happened to be
like,
that day of the week. You should
Well,
not
there's this
shame
thing-
someone. You
there's
should
this
not
thing-
shame someone for working hard who wears overalls. That's all
Did
I'm
he go
saying.
straight? Did he like drive the tractor to the office and park it outside and walk up the stairs?
You're right.
Or did he
probably
go
could've went
inside?
home
Did
and
he
took
go-
a shower? He probably could have went home,
Yeah?
took a shower, and changed before the meeting. No,
Yeah.
no one's going to do that. It's a lunch meeting. These meetings aren't at 3:00. You aren't going to.
Oh wait. On top of that, he wore it into a restaurant and had lunch.
No,
and
it was
sat
in a
down-
meeting. It was in a business building.
Yeah, in a conference room.
Did he at least wear a polo underneath, or was he like no shirt rocking?
Now that I would have
That
a
would've been
problem with, but no, it was completely shirtless underneath. No, he had a shirt underneath. No, I don't.
And just a
think that
t-shirt, not a polo.
Overalls get a bad rap. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing.
And this pod perfectly explains that.
Was
I'm
the
gonna buy
person
some right now.
overweight, on weight, or fit?
Fit person wearing overalls.
Phil, it's not acceptable at a meeting. It's not acceptable.
I have to lean Jordan's
It's
direction.
acceptable when Trent puts his feet up and he's got his Crocs on with his khakis and his Cowboys jersey. So it is acceptable.
Hey, if there's a table, my feet are going up on it. I don't care if it's the pew in front of me or
the White House.
or the White House. My feet are going up on that table. It's a bad habit, but
Yeah, I will say like the meeting Trent's talking about is probably more acceptable at, but your normal business.
it's a
meeting is not
farming
acceptable
company.
at.
This isn't a this is a farming company. This is not a
But there was no one
Law
from
firm.
outside the
Stock market.
company there. It was no one from outside the company there.
no. It's not like
Okay.
we're.
Well,
It's
you
not like
should
we're
give
meeting,
full
you know, the-
context to the meeting, Trent. Like you said,
I said the
or
guy-
to a
hey.
business meeting.
If someone
Out a
came-
taco truck.
I said the guy got off a tractor, like, hey, we're not meeting with a Fortune 500 company at this thing. Like, all I'm saying is overalls get a bad rap. I think they are totally acceptable. Overalls are very practical, very easy to use. Maybe not perfect for like using the restroom, but everything you need to do in a work setting, they are very good. Did anything I say there was that wrong?
They're
No,
comfortable. They're extremely
You're
comfortable.
raving about overalls, and I'm very curious. Do you own a pair of overalls, Trent?
I don't own a pair of overalls, but I should. I saw that a year ago and I
should.
said I should have a pair of those. But can't you see me just mowing the lawn in overalls, Phil?
Too well, but without
Straw
a shirt
hat?
underneath. Without a
Yeah.
shirt underneath.
Uh,
Let's
only
all
one
get a
side
pair of
button.
overalls. For our next draft, let's all get a pair of overalls.
Not your worst idea, Phil.
I,
All right.
I in grade 3 or maybe it was grade 4, I remember I wore overalls maybe every other day. They're so nice. You just pull those puppies on. You wear what you basically can wear. It's like wearing the same jeans over and over again. You just swap out your shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like
no, it is so
overalls-
practical.
And people are like, "What if you have to use the restroom?" It's like it's quick. Like it's not. It's you know what I'm saying? Like they've made them so fuel efficient at this point.
Well, and if you work from home, you could wear overalls and then take them off and have a polo underneath. Like it's practical. It's like business on the outside or business on the inside, party on the outside. You know, like you can put snacks in that front pouch.
Yeah. Or your
there's
pencil,
so many.
pencil.
Yeah, so many possibilities of what you can do with overalls. Yeah, phone, snacks, pencil.
They also don't
monkey
hug
wrench.
your hips. They also
They
don't
don't hug your hips. Yeah, that could be a problem for some people. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go. There's this new fad where people are wearing short overalls. I don't think I could get into that one though, Phil. But you
Short
probably could pull
overalls?
those overalls.
For children, they're okay.
That's true. Yeah, there's most things are okay if you're under the age of 7, but that's a whole nother thing. But anyways,
I mean,
guys,
it's not that much different than the romper you wore to your bachelor party.
you're such so stupid. I don't even know where you got that. I hate that. Yeah. I have no words. I think that kind of does it, guys. We will we only have a mock draft next week. We will see you soon. Have a happy, safe Independence Day, and as always, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.